What's happening, everybody? My name is Andrew Laird. Welcome to the Music Machine Podcast. This podcast is going to be centered around music and everything that it takes to make music your lifestyle. Everybody loves music, and I know a lot of you want to make it a part of your lifestyle, whether it's being in a band or recording songs, doing all that stuff yourself, making videos, going on tour, all that kind of stuff, or just if you want to just make music just for fun. Like, this is the podcast for you, trust me. I'm going to be having a bunch of musicians, a bunch of producers on the podcast as well, and they're going to give some really good advice, pretty much just to point you in the right direction. It'll be packed full of amazing, useful information. It'll be extremely entertaining as well, because we're going to dig deep in some of the stories of these fellow musicians and producers and friends and whoever else might end up on the podcast. But it's going to be strictly music-based, and if you want to have music be a part of your career or just love music, and yeah, this is the place for it. This will be the podcast for you for sure. Okay, so I'm gonna start off by talking a little bit about myself. I don't want to talk only about myself, but I'm just gonna at least give you a short rundown on how I sort of got to this point. So basically, I've always listened to music growing up, specifically hard rock, rock and roll, metal, all that kind of shit, all about it. So when I was probably 13 or 12, believe it or not, what really got me wanting to play music was a Guitar Hero. Not kidding. Talking 2006, Guitar Hero 2 in particular was the one that I first started playing, and it was just so much fun just doing the rhythms and trying to get your fingers to work. It's tough. It's really tough at first. It has a pretty steep learning curve, but I got to the point where I could destroy people on expert. Like, I could play any Guitar Hero song on expert. So that's literally how I started. And it took me until being at a friend's house, and we were playing Guitar Hero, and my friend's dad came in the room while we were playing and legit was like, "You guys are a bunch of pussies. Learn how to play a real guitar." And I got immediately offended. So I had to buy. I ended up getting a guitar later down the road, but that was what did it for me. Like, I enjoyed playing, and I always wanted to play. And then it took someone calling me a little bitch to be like, "Okay, I should probably get a real guitar and take this shit seriously." So I did. That's what I did. So, and then I self-taught myself as well. I think I was going to take lessons, but I never got around to it. It was more like, I just want to already be good. I don't want to go through the little dang, 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 and then the teacher saying you suck, and then having to practice at home while playing your, I don't know. Some people like that. If you want to go that route, I'm not shaming it at all. There's a lot of really, really good guitar teachers out there, but for me at the time, I just wanted to know how to play songs already. So I would go on YouTube and look up how to play certain songs. And I found that my favorite method was reading tabs. If you don't know what tabs are, the website that I go to is ultimateguitar.com. And a tab is basically, imagine like a sheet of paper, how it's got a sheet of notebook paper, rather, how it's got the lines that go through it. And each line represents each string on a guitar. And then on those lines, there'll be numbers. And those numbers are what fret to put your finger on. And then it just goes in order, like reading from left to right. Without there's the legit way to read music. And you can do that. If you're into the music theory, definitely look into it. But if you're just starting and you just want to learn how to play guitar, tabs is the good way to go. Absolutely. So yeah, then after that, I ended up getting a bass guitar because I wanted to start recording my own music. And this is when this is the hardest part if you're first starting out, is trying to record your own music and not having any knowledge of it, especially because you have to start bad. Like, your music has to suck for it to get good eventually. And that's just the harsh truth. But luckily, back then when I started, like 8, 9, 10 years ago, recording wise, there was not much in terms of like high quality videos and stuff. Like, you actually had to know people, or just trial and error. Honestly, I use Cubase is the DAW program that I use on my computer to record stuff, and it's worked very well. But back in the day, I used FL Studio, uh, and yeah, so it just takes a lot of dedication. I have the 4D process. 4Ds. You got dedication, devotion, diligence, and discipline. So for dedication, you have to want it. If you're listening to this podcast just because you enjoy music, you don't want to do it, but you just want to hear these stories that these musicians and producers have to offer, and just want to know what it's like to be in the industry and be in the band and go and tour and stuff, cool. That is completely fine. But if you're here for a different reason, if you legit are, I want to do music for a living, you need dedication. You have to have that passion, that drive. It's just absolutely crucial. Without it, you're not going to make it very far. And it's more than just feeling like, my music sucks, or I don't have anybody to help me. Like that, I guarantee you that that'll come later. If you just have some self-doubt, or if you just don't feel like you're progressing, you can't give up. You have to have that dedication though, which leads to the second D, is devotion. That is also, it's almost goes hand in hand with dedication. You have to really have that drive, but this is the taking an action. So you have the dedication, you want to do it, you get to the devotion, and you're devoted. You're like, I am going to do this. This is when you start doing your little mind changes, and you rewire your brain to function in a way that keeps you on the straight path to being successful in the music industry. Then you got diligence. This is when you are building all these things around your field that you want to kind of push you in the right direction. So you're going to do all these different steps. You're going to listen to these stories, and you're going to hear what other people have done, and you're going to apply it. You're going to keep your head straight, be in the right headspace, and just keep going. And then finally, discipline. This is definitely the hardest one. It is very crucial to constantly, even if you don't want to, you have to get a little bit of work done almost every day, or at least a few times a week. It just has to happen. You have to discipline yourself. Even if you're not in the mood, say, I'm going to get this done by the end of the week, and just make sure that you're constantly playing, constantly practicing, constantly writing, talking to people, going to shows, whatever it takes. You have to just discipline yourself. Make sure that you make music a part of your daily routine, or you're going to fall apart. It's just like playing a sport. I used to skateboard growing up, and I haven't skateboarded in over 2 years now. I guarantee you, if I tried to skate right now, I would hurt myself very badly, because it's something that I couldn't stick with. It's still my favorite sport, but like I said, music is a number one priority. So yeah, that's basically it. You got to have the 4 Ds: dedication, devotion, diligence, discipline. Make sure that that's a part of your routine, or you'll fall apart. Okay, next I want to talk about a little bit in terms of, like, I'm just starting out, what should I do? So I would say, I think a lot of people that are listening to this have already done music. I really do. I'm sure a lot of you know how to play instruments. A lot of you might know how to record already, and you might be advanced. That's fine, because we're going to get to the guests very soon. And when the guests start showing up, then the more experienced musicians will definitely, that'll be where their lane falls in. But still, if you're just starting out, I would say you have to kind of focus on what you're good at. Let's say that, like, you just want to start a band, and you've been singing your entire life because the radio's on when you drive, and you enjoy all these songs, and you're singing, and you start getting good at it. Then that might be your lane. Maybe you want to just really hone in on singing, which is a great thing. Once you, if you can make singing the passion, then there you go. Then you just have to find the people to build your band. Or maybe if you might want to just be writing music too. So I think the guitar and the piano are the two just most well-rounded instruments for writing and recording. That's just how it goes. That is just how it goes. Those two instruments are the best instruments for writing and recording, in my opinion. Because then you could just pick up your guitar, you write your chords, whatever you got to do, and then you can come up with melodies and harmonies and all other things, and then lyrics eventually. And then once you have like songs that you've written and they're done, you can post them, you can share them, you can say, hey, I'm looking for people to join. Or maybe it's just if you just want to be an acoustic artist, it's great. But yeah, I would say definitely figure out what you're good at. If you want to play guitar, electric guitar, or acoustic, or bass guitar, or drums, even, just pick up a cheap instrument and really hone in on how to use that instrument and get better at it. You'll definitely get better at it if you don't quit. That's the thing. Dedication, devotion, diligence, discipline. I'm going to say it every single episode. You have to make sure that you're actually wanting to do this. So I learned how to play drums too. And funny enough, I got good at drums from Guitar Hero and Rock Band. Not kidding. Because with the drums, it's a lot different than the Guitar Hero guitar, because you just have to move your fingers. You're not actually playing chords and whatever. With the drums, you have to be on beat, and rhythm is 90% of drum skill. And then that last 10% is when you throw in the tricks and you do the speed and the management. But if you can hold a beat, you can write music. If you can hold a beat, you can write music. It's that easy. Well, it's easier said than done. But yeah, I would say, Rock Band and Guitar Hero is not even a thing anymore. So I'm not going to say, hey, buy Rock Band, play that drum set and you'll get good at it. It's not about that. You might as well just get a drum set at this point. Or you can get one of the electronic drum sets if you don't want to piss off your neighbors or family or anybody you might be living with, girlfriend, boyfriend, cats, I don't know, dogs, whatever. Yeah. The electronic kits are nice though, because then you can program them to sound however you want using your computer. I don't have an electronic drum kit, but I would like to get one at some point, because that'd be a much better way to practice the drums. And so there's that. Okay, that's going to be it for this episode. It was basically an introduction into what you're going to expect from this podcast. But yes, dedication, devotion, diligence, discipline. Write those down. Get a whiteboard, write them down, look at them every day, make goals, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Next week, we're going to talk about more stuff. So thanks, guys. Love you. Bye.